It was supposed to be an ordinary night, dinner, a movie neither of us really cared about, just a kind of quiet, familiar evening that comes with love that is settled into comfort. Or at least, that's what I thought. She laughed at something on her phone, a message. The screen lit up for just a second, long enough for me to catch a name I didn't recognize. It was brief, barely a glimpse, but something inside me twisted. She noticed me looking and quickly turned the phone face down, laughing again. "Nobody," she said. "Just a friend." But when someone says nobody and hides the screen like it's something dangerous, you just know. I tried to ignore it, tried to enjoy the rest of the night, to pretend I hadn't seen what I had. But something had shifted. Her laughter sounded different. Her touch felt distant. And when I looked into her eyes, it was clear they were somewhere else. I didn't say anything, didn't confront her. Instead, I paid attention. And soon, the signs piled up. She stayed up later, kept her phone closer, smiled at messages she never wanted me to see. I felt myself fading into the background of my own life, while she became a stranger who only wore the face of the woman I loved. One night, I couldn't ignore it anymore. She was in the shower when her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I wasn't planning to check it. I swear I wasn't. But my hand moved before my mind could stop it, as if it already knew what my heart wasn't ready to face. His name again. But not just a single message this time. There were dozens, hundreds. Photos, memories, plans. Conversations filled with the kind of laughter and secrets that used to be ours. This wasn't a mistake. Not a passing lapse in judgment. It was deliberate. She hadn't just betrayed me. She had quietly replaced me. I didn't wait for her to come out. There was no need for another lie. No use in hearing excuses. I packed a bag, took what I needed, and walked out. No note, no goodbye, no sound. Maybe she thought I wouldn't actually leave, but she didn't know me anymore. The days that followed blurred together. I checked into a small hotel, ignored my phone, spoke to no one. At first, she called, sent messages. She begged me to talk, said it wasn't fair, that she could explain. But there was nothing left to explain. She made her choice. I made mine. I blocked her, erased our pictures, removed every trace of her from my life. But erasing someone you once loved isn't really possible. You just learn to turn down the volume on their memory. 2 weeks later, I moved into a tiny apartment, started over, let myself breathe again. Some nights, I still reach for her in my sleep, just muscle memory, a cruel trick of the heart. But over time, the silence became something else, something peaceful. The ache that once screamed softened into nothing. 6 months passed before she found me again. I was walking home, groceries in one hand, headphones in the other, when I turned a corner and saw her standing outside my building. She looked smaller, not physically, but like something inside her had collapsed under the weight of guilt. "Hey," she said softly, as if nothing had happened. I didn't respond. I just looked at her. "Can we talk?" she asked. I should have walked past her, should have kept going. But some part of me, maybe the part that still wanted answers, stayed. We sat in a cafe nearby, one she had never been to, a place that belonged to the new life I was building. She stirred her coffee, but she didn't drink it. Her hands trembled. Her voice was quiet. "I never thought you'd really leave," she admitted. That was her mistake. She thought love made me weak. She was wrong. Love had made me strong enough to walk away. She said it hadn't meant anything, that she was lost, that it was a mistake. But mistakes don't last for months. Mistakes don't wake up every morning and send messages. Mistakes don't slowly replace the person you claim to love. She cried, said she missed me, that life wasn't the same without me. And maybe that was true, but regret doesn't undo betrayal. And guilt is not love. "I don't need you to forgive me," she whispered. "I just needed you to know I still think about us." I nodded, and for the first time, I felt nothing. No pain, no anger, no longing, just clarity. "You think about us," I said quietly, "but you didn't fight for us when it mattered." She had nothing to say to that. She stood, waiting for me to speak, to give her something. but I had already given her the only answer that mattered. I walked out, leaving her there. Walked back into my life. A life that no longer had room for someone who had once counted on me staying no matter what. When people show you what you mean to them, believe them. Don't wait for closure. Don't wait for apologies that come too late. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away and never look back.